During the 1960s, a gentleman by the name of Paul Van Doren was working for a shoe manufacturer by the name of Randy's. At the time, Randy's was one of the largest shoe manufacturers in the U.S. However, during that time, they went through some financial hardships and ended up getting to a point to where they were losing about $1 million a month. Paul, of course, his brother Jim, and a longtime friend by the name of Gordon Lee were given the task by Randy's to try to straighten out this factory. Saw Randy's business model start to fail, and with the company losing money, this is where Paul's dream really started to take effect, to not only start his own factory to create shoes, but to create his own product and to sell it in his own retail stores. So from that point, Paul took his family and relocated to Southern California, and specifically Anaheim, California. From that point, took about a year for the factory setup, which was located in Anaheim. It was built from scratch using old machinery that was brought from all across the United States, primarily used machinery that he could find at the time. Prior to that point, there had only been 3 companies in the United States that were manufacturing vulcanized footwear, and one of those was, of course, Randy's, the second being Keds, and the third being Converse. Now, Van Doren wanted to add Vans to the mix of those listed brands creating shoes. In that factory included not only the manufacturing process, created the office, it also had the retail store location connected to the front of the building. And the doors actually opened on March 16th, 1966. A couple interesting facts about that first day of business on March 16th was that Paul had 16 total customers come through the door, and was actually able to convert 12 of those into purchasing customers. So because he was still in the process of manufacturing those shoes, he only had sample shoes for those customers to try on. So he got them measured up, he got them sized, he got them fitted in the styles that they liked, and asked them to return the following day to pick up those shoes that they had ordered. In those first couple days of business, a lady came into Paul's store and saw the selection of colors of pink that he had in the particular authentic style, and said that I really like that pink, but I wish it was a little bit brighter of a pink. And then she picked up a yellow shoe and used that. That same sort of idea of, I like the color yellow, but I wish it was a little bit brighter. And Paul's response to this was that, well, lady, I can't make every different color shoe combination that you want. I can't make 5 different colors of pink shoes in my retail store. So what he actually had her do was, he said, why don't you go ahead and bring in, a couple yards of fabric. We'll make the shoes for you. You come back in a couple days, and you can pick up your custom order pair of shoes. And from that point forward, from that first interaction with that lady in the first couple days of business, Vans to this day still creates custom shoes on their Vans.com website. Over that 50-year timeline that Vans has been creating shoes, we've created many styles and many different color iterations in those particular styles of shoes. But there's really 5 shoes that stand out in the Vans shoe footwear line that we currently have. So starting on that first day of business, we had what's called the Style 44, what we know today as the Authentic. So that was the first shoe to ever be created. It was originally called the Vans Deck shoe that you'll commonly hear it referred to as. And this is really what created that quality and that value that Vans became known for in their deck shoes and their authentic style. From that point, Vans pretty much held true to that authentic style until 1976, where the Era was introduced. The Era was really the first skate shoe, and still is the first skate shoe that was ever created. And what the Era did was really take the authentic style into the very first true purpose-built skateboard shoe. And really the primary difference between the Authentic and the Era is that they took the styling and added a collar padded lining that will run across the heel portion of the shoe, as well as introduced premium materials such as suede, leather, nubuck, and added those into the stress points of the shoes based upon feedback from the skaters as they used and skated those shoes. And so Vans from the start of the Era in 1976 really kind of got on a roll of footwear. So 1 year later, 1977, the Old School was introduced. And the Old School was the first shoe to wear the iconic Vans side stripe. And really the Old School was seen as an elevated model to the Era. It was taken up a little bit higher, more into a mid-top, and again used those premium materials such as suede and leather in those areas to create it into a really elevated skateboard shoe for the time. 1978, so 1 year after the Old School, we have the skate high. And really what influenced the skate high being developed was as these skaters were skating backyard pools, they were skating ramps and skate parks. When they would go up a quarter pipe or a half pipe or a pool, the skateboard would come back and actually hit them in the ankles. And so what they did is they took the Old School and elevated it up into a high top version, thus giving the skater additional ankle support and prevented that skateboard from hitting them in the ankle. In 1979, this is where we're really getting into some more iconic footwear as well, is the classic slip-on. So 1979, this is the very first shoe that ever was introduced with that black and white checkerboard pattern that you see on it still to this day. That black and white checkerboard was really made famous by the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Jeff Spicoli wearing it. Fast forwarding to 2016, Vans is just hitting their 50th anniversary. We just did that, as we referenced earlier, March 16th, 1966 was our first day of business. So driving that business really today is those same 5 styles that we referenced before. We have the Authentic, we have the Era, the Old School, the Skate High, the Classic Slip-On. Those to this day are still our most iconic and top-selling Vans shoes, and really what Vans is built on is staying true to its history and heritage, and staying true to those roots of skateboarding, action sports, and youth culture, and really that creative expressor, that person that wants to create themselves expressively and express themselves through art, music, action sports, all of those different avenues and pillars. And from that, that's what's going to carry Vans into the future, and looking back at that success, Vans is going to continue to stay on that trajectory for however many numerous years to come.